Welcome to Gene and Mike to the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Sunday, October 12th, 2025. So, on a crossword titled Make No Mistake, did you make no mistake?
I did make mistakes, but I corrected them,
Well, that's good.
and I eventually got through it. But it was kind of a slop when I got down to that bottom right corner. Just too many unknowns there.
Oh, yes?
But I eventually persevered.
What did you not know in the bottom right?
I did not know 101 across, which was company that, 101 across and 101 down for that matter. 101 across was Buddhist riddles, which were Zen koans. And then 101 down, company that owns Words with Friends, was a Zynga.
Yes.
And then I was having trouble with 112 across, wave of the white flag, so to speak. So we wanted to, because I was working with our daughter, we wanted it to be concede defeat. But of course, that didn't fit. So then we decided maybe it was concede a defeat or the defeat. But anyway, we eventually figured it out. We knew that 108 down, 108 down, Big Apple's bravest. We knew that began with an F. So we thought, well, it's got to be the fire department. It's either the fire department or the police department.
Right.
And we knew that the police department was NYPD, but this started with an F. So we thought, well, maybe it's Fire Department New York. So we put FD and Y.
Which it is.
Yes, which was correct. And then 109 down, something a beach lifeguard monitors. We thought, we knew it started with a T. So we thought, well, it probably is tied because it was 4 letters, but with that conceding, we just had a lot of trouble right there in that corner. But we eventually got it. It took a while, but we got it.
Yeah, so we've had Zen koans before.
I would imagine I know we've had Zynga before.
We've had Zynga about, 4 times. We've had Zen koans twice. I remembered Zen koans because I remember thinking it was something weird. And Zynga actually also I was able to recollect.
No, well, that
but
was
I had other problems in this crossword.
Oh.
I was natived at 75 across, the Facts of Life girl. I wasn't sure if it was Blair or Claire. And I had 75 down, men who marry late in life as Benedicts. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Turns out it was Blair and Benedict, as in Benedictine.
Oh, is that what that is?
I'm sure it's related. Because
I looked it up because I was just curious about that. But yeah, it just said that that Benedicts was was kind of a slang term for men who were about to get married, and typically men who had been bachelors for a long time.
I'm just sort of guessing at the origin, but it at least looked like some word or name that I'd seen in the English language as opposed to Benedicts.
Oh, yes.
Definitely had not seen before.
Benedict is definitely a name.
But I didn't know the Facts of Life girl Blair.
Yes, I knew that.
Oh, okay, well that's good. I also didn't get 62 across, like a certain cartoon coyote, you might say. And I thought it was Wiley, and I thought, oh, they want me to spell it W-I-L-E. And that crossed with 53 down, the Bronx Bombers on scoreboards, who, of course, I knew nothing at all about because it's sports. And so I had N-Y-E. And I thought there's something wrong with that, too. So eventually I was able to get this done. But this took me well over an hour and a half.
Oh, my.
And
yeah, well, that Wiley, we got that right away because the coyote's name is Wile-E. But they said, but the clue was, let me read it here, like a certain cartoon coyote, you might say, and it's Wiley. He's a wily coyote, and his name is Wiley.
W-I-L-E, right?
Yeah,
and I know the joke and I know the name, but it just didn't. I just thought for some reason they wanted me to write Wiley, the name of the cartoon coyote.
Yeah. And of course, the Bombers are now the New York Yankees, but they used to be the New York Bombers.
So anyway, I guess there was a theme here, and I guess the theme was sort of cute.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about that theme?
I could.
Okay.
I could. The title of the puzzle was "Make No Mistake," which was very apt, and it all revolved around a very common phrase, which if you've ever done any kind of woodworking, you've heard it. Or really, it applies to a lot of crafting. But within the puzzle, there were circled squares, and there would be two sets of circled squares in, let's see, we had 4 different answers. And they were always the same number within each of the answers. And then that was on the left-hand side of the puzzle. On the right-hand side of the puzzle, there were 4 places where you saw an itty-bitty little pair of scissors. and it was always between 2 squares, like it was cutting the 2 squares in 2. And the common phrase was measure twice, cut once, meaning that you need to make sure before you cut that you're cutting in the right place. So you should measure twice, cut once. Okay, so those circled squares, if you answered the questions correctly, were measurements. The first one was 23 across, and that was boast accompanying an evil laugh. And then in parentheses, it was 120 seconds. Well, 120 seconds is 2 minutes. And the answer was mine, all mine. And so the MIN in both of the mines were circled. So that's the abbreviation for minute. So within mine, all mine, you've got 2 minutes.
120 seconds.
Yeah. So that was measure twice. You have 2 measurements there, 2 minutes. And then on the next line down, we had 28 across that had the little scissors. And the clue there was words on a juice carton. And the answer was not from concentrate, but you couldn't fit all that into the squares. But where the little scissors was, that represented the letters O-N-C-E. It was the first part of the word concentrate, C, and then you have O-N-C-E, and then you have N-trate, concentrate. So O-N-C-E, of course, spells once. So you measure twice. You had your 2 measurements on the left side, and then on the right side, with the little scissors, you had the cut once. There's the scissors cutting the once out of the clue, or the answer, I should say. Okay, the next one was 41 across, liquid flavored vegetables, 32 ounces, which would be 2 pounds, or 16 ounces in a pound. So the answer to that was FENNELBULBS. So the L of fennel and the B of bulbs were circled, LB. And then the second LB in bulbs was circled. So there you have the 2 pounds.
Right.
You measure twice, 2 measures. And then next to that, just on the next line down, you had 48 across, which was letter opener. And the answer to that was to whom it may concern. Although there was not enough room for concern, you only had 3 squares. So you put the C, and then there was the little scissors. So there was where the O-N-C-E, the once, was inserted, and then R-N finished up the word concern. So you have the cut once in that answer.
Indeed.
And then we had Galileo Galilei with the GALs in both of his names circled. So there was 2 gallons there. And that was next to the answer stand. What was it?
Scientist who spent his last years under house arrest.
No, the one that was the cut ones was 89 across. It was observe the expected formalities. And that was stand on ceremony. And the O-N of on and the C-E of ceremony were not there, but there was a little scissors where that would be. So they cut the once out once again. And then finally, way down on 105 across, the answer was went 50-50. And the FT in each 50 were circled. So there you have 2 feet. So there's your measure twice. And then the one that just gave us so much trouble was conceding defeat at 112 across. And within the word conceding, the ONCE, after the first C there, that was where the little scissors was. So the once was cut out of conceding. So anyway, it was a very cute theme, I thought. Something a little different, not terribly hard, and certainly the measure twice. Once I figured out, oh yeah, we got 2 minutes there, we got 2 pounds there, then I knew right away. I looked at the clue to see how many inches or pounds or quarts or they were, that they had in the parentheses afterwards, divided it in half, and I knew exactly what went into those circled squares then.
Right.
So, and that, of course, helped answer those rather long answers to the clues. So anyway, that was very helpful. And then once we figured out they had cut the once out of, not from concentrate, the first one there, then we knew that every time we saw scissors, we would have to insert ONCE to make the answer correct. So.
Right. Yeah, so the themed answers themselves weren't too difficult, but...
No, but they certainly helped get the puzzle completed.
Yes, the fact that once you had, some of the circled square, once you had one set of circled squares in an answer, you had the other set.
Exactly.
That always helps.
Yeah.
There were a few other clues, I guess, worth of note. I like 10 across, give some heat, say, was arms.
Yes, that took a while, but that was a great clue.
And then I went with 10 down, religious title whose name comes from the Hebrew for father. And I think the Hebrew for father is like Abba or something like that. And then, but the answer there for the religious title was abbot.
That's right.
Good to know where it comes from. And we had 12 down, classic card that shares its name with a planet informally. I'm like, Earth, Venus, Mars. Eventually I got around to Mercury and realized they just wanted the informal version of it,
yes,
Merc.
That's right.
We had 14 across, cry of frustration was arg. And we also had 13 down, cry of frustration was ga.
Yep.
I was uttering both of those as I was working on this crossword.
Oh, really?
I
don't think I've ever said either one.
You've never said arg?
Nope.
How about ga?
No, I'm not a ga person.
Yeah, I wonder who does actually say that. Maybe no one does. Maybe it's just a comic thing.
Yeah, that could very well be.
I did like the 41 across, the licorice-flavored vegetables, 32 ounces, the FENNELBULBS.
Yes.
That was sort of interesting. And then we had 41 down, online shorthand meaning victory, FTW, for the win.
For the win. That's right.
Sort of like that one there. 57 across was rumspringers in Amish communities, e.g., and the answer was rights.
That's right.
That's an interesting way of introducing that. A rumspringer. Have you ever heard of a rumspringer before?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
What kind of a rite is it?
Well, it's sort of a rite of passage from youth into adulthood, where the Amish teen is allowed to make the decision whether they want to continue the Amish way of life or if they want to join the rest of the world. And they get the chance to actually go into the rest of the world to see what it would be like not to be Amish. And then they make the choice that they want to go back to the Amish way of life or do they want to not.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's
what age do they do that at?
I am not sure, but I'm thinking like maybe 18, 19, yeah.
We had 49 down, big name in vacuum cleaners was Oric.
Yep.
And then we had 100 down, big name in vacuum cleaners was Dyson.
Right, yes.
Too bad we couldn't have gotten Eureka in there.
Or Hoover.
That's right. It also could have been an entire crossword of vacuum cleaners.
That's right.
And the title could have been, this crossword does not suck, but its contents do.
Yes, it could.
But Will Shortz is an editor of renown and good taste.
He would never let that.
He would never let that through. No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
99 down was body parts examined for arrhythmia. I thought arrhythmia, heart.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, why is it body parts? And it turned out to be atria.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's being a little bit more, not just heart, but the atria part.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
76 down, I thought was interesting. That was rafts, and the answer was lots.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that anyway.
Yeah.
102 down was A in Ashkelon was Aleph.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Took me a bit to sort of work through that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then 118 across, when mating typically occurs, was endgame.
That's right. Boy, that one was, right in the middle of that seeding and Zynga and
Right.
Zen, and we couldn't figure out how that was. I mean, it looked to us like it had to be endgame, but it's like, what does that have to do with mating? And then I figured, oh, it's chess.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of trouble with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We had 6. Okay, one thing that sort of I found interesting: 64 down, name found in whole milk, and the answer was Emil, E-M-I-L, because it's the E of whole and the M-I-L of milk.
Yep.
But then they also had wood found in restaurant furniture. So I'm trying to look at the phrase restaurant furniture and find some wood in there. But the answer was ash.
Yeah.
And I thought, come on, be consistent, Michael. And I'm saying Michael because Michael Schlossberg is the writer of this crossword.
Uh-huh.
And he would probably respond, I don't want to be consistent because then it wouldn't be as much fun. Because I'm like, okay, perhaps there's a wood called rantif or anfo or tefer, but it was ash.
No, that wasn't quite what they were looking for.
Why do restaurants use ash? Is it light or something?
Lightweight, inexpensive. Mm-hmm.
Well, balsa wood is also, I guess that wouldn't have the durability that you need.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty sturdy.
71 across was song in a book of songs. That was hymn.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of cute.
I got that one right away.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get 82 down, worker with a handler, spy?
No, that too was kind of a stumper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got it through the crosses. That made it. The crosses were pretty easy, but yeah, it's like with a handler, spy. Okay, no, whatever. No.
We had 69 down, hot French beverage, thé, T-H-E, which might be easily mistaken for the.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, 70 down, resolute item in the Oval Office was the oak desk.
Right.
I guess it wasn't made of ash.
Nope, it was made of oak. It's made from, it was made from a boat or a ship. The
Was
Resolute. It? That's why they call it.
No kidding.
Yeah, they call it the Resolute desk. It was a British ship, and they made 2 desks from it. And one went to the Queen Elizabeth, and one went to the United States President.
If it wasn't some sort of international heritage site, they could go down to the Titanic and they could make some furniture out of the Titanic. Although
I don't think much the Titanic could make furniture.
Yeah, somehow Resolute sounds much more impressive than Titanic.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Resolute sank. I think they just put it out of commission.
Well, probably sank.
I don't know. That would be a good thing to look up. But
it probably
I just know they made 2 desks. One went to the royal, head of the royal family. The other went to the president of the United States.
It is my theory that they cut it out of the bottom of both boats and then it sank. Hey, who put these large holes here?
What do you mean they made a desk?
I liked 36 across first. Lampshade-shaped candy piece was Rolo.
That's right.
I had, it was 4 letters long, and I think I had the L, and I thought, well, it's probably Rolo. But then I didn't really know what Rolo looked like, and sure enough, it does look like a lampshade.
It looks like a lampshade, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And let's see, there was another one, 37 across, rock band, ? Seam.
Yes, that we tried to get that in, right away, but it's like we couldn't figure out what you could put in there in 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I know it's not anything to do with rock and roll music. It's got to do with rocks, but yeah, we couldn't figure out any word that would be descriptive. But yes, it was seam.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of flailed around just a little bit because of 38 down. Charlotte's Web author and knits. I'm like, who wrote Charlotte's Web? And it was E.B.W.
E.B. White.
E.B. White.
Mm-hmm.
Any relation to the person who wrote the book about the style or the style guide for
I
English?
don't believe so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 25 across. Low-pitched jazz instruments for short. Bari saxes.
Yes.
I went for alto.
I went for alto sax, and then we went for bass sax, but I don't know that there is such a thing as a bass sax, but it turned out to be the bari sax or baritone sax.
Yeah, somehow that sounds like something you use to detect whether or not there's going to be a storm coming. Quick, check the bari sax.
Uh-huh.
It might also be barometer, I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, this was a fine crossword. I found it to be a major struggle compared to yesterday's.
Uh-huh.
But it was by Michael Schlossberg, his 16th, his 9th Sunday New York Times crossword. Well done, Michael.
Very good, yes.
That is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for listening. A reminder that tomorrow, being Monday, we will have our Jam Katwa,
Do, 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 do.
our Gene and Mike Crossword of the Week Award, so you'll want to tune in for that. Please tell all your friends and relations about us. Please leave a glowing review wherever you're listening to this podcast from, because that always helps us. And we'll be back again with that crossword and our analysis of it tomorrow.
Bye-bye.